Good morning or afternoon, everyone. I'm Hank Hauser from QT, Curriculum and Learning Designer. Welcome to this first TELedvisors webinar of 2019. Very exciting. There's going to be quite a few to follow. But this one, we thought for the start, we will look at the future. And so this webinar is about the future of technology enhanced learning. So there's a few questions there, and we've got a range of presenters there. So there's Sarah Thorneycroft, Kate Mitchell, Marlene Daicopoulos, then and Tom Worthington to cap it off. Marlene, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So the next person who's going to do a little bit of presentation, and then we'll have some discussion again. It's Marlene Daicopoulos, ePortfolio Learning Support Officer at Murdoch.
That's right.
Just a short introduction, Marlene.
That's okay. That's okay. Yes, and I'm sitting outside, so please excuse the birds. Just again, like Kate alluded to the Horizons report, and it just the reason that this came up, or Hank asked me to sort of summarize it, was because Tom, I think, had said something about Star Trek. Anyways, and this happened to come across my desk, shall we say, and I'm reading through it. So I'll go through it quickly, just because you can read it as well, but just a bit synopsis. So these are the 10 areas that and this one is from the UK. And this is what they're looking at. But again, I think it does flow on to what, Australians tend to do as well, too. How do I next page here? So I don't want to read through, but just following that timeline. So yes, we're always talking about education and research finance. Always the money. There's always the money issue. And again, investment is always something that comes up into my mind. A lot of times some invest, some don't. Marketization of education is very different than when we went to school, isn't it? And how education is marketed. So the thought bubbles are some thoughts and questions. So while universities using online can get real far, we can come back to that digital literacy side of things, because if they're out and far, like I've done the an online support with people out in Thursday Island, and that if it's not intuitive on how to use the technology, they're going to have difficulties. And then again, you got to think about dodgy internet connections, which is a reality in Australia. So very interesting there. Student experience, Kate mentioned it, which is correct. And again, so there you go, UK, it's here as well. Is it related to the marketization? Do students want the latest tech, or expecting the latest technology in our universities, or will they purchase it? We've got the haves and have-nots at university, unfortunately. And then it was the AR, VR that came up. While they're being used, they're saying more in the vocational area, which I think is going to be more that competency and doing, that point where students have to show that they can actually do something, not just write a paper. So then throughout the report, the AI theme came up, which was really interesting, and I think something to watch. So will AI help the student experience? So bring that back. What do we got? So the skills gap, this is my area of interest, is digital literacy, and I've been working on trying to make modules to help students really come up to speed on it. There you go, there's a survey, a JISC survey, reveals that 41% of students, only them, feel prepared for the digital workspace. That's pretty low, considering technology is everywhere, isn't it? And then the staff do want more to improve their skills, but of course they're so time poor, which is so. I think we see that as well. We can't disregard that. Yeah. And then there's also the privatization, which is true. Google is coming along, and then apparently in the UK, I haven't looked up the Barclays Digital Confidence Initiative, but definitely something I'll look into. So yeah, another another area that I think definitely will be, again, it's my interest, so I will be digging deeper. Bricks and clicks, that can come around the student experience again. And then, of course, do they want online? What is online? And yeah, that in life enhancing experience. They mentioned something about the sticky campus, as if anybody knows about that, it would be great. Otherwise, I'll do a bit more search. I just didn't have time to get in there. To maximize student numbers, whereas everybody's going to try and do this virtual learning, that's going to play an integral part. So there's long-term planning, which is a challenge, of course. We all know that. International branches of campuses. We're in a global world, everybody. I know Murdoch's got 2 shall we say offshore, I think we call them, campuses. There is truly blended approach. And then learning analytics is going to be the next big, everybody's going to hop on that, I think. I think they say that. Innovations in teaching and learning. Yes, again, this would be for something for us. So, you know, there's the theme of lifelong just-in-time learning, which is where online learning really comes in, that just-in-time learning. There's also, I remember listening to, I think it was, wasn't it at the Escalate? There was the gentleman who, I'm sorry, I'm not good with remembering these names, but talked about students need to take time, but so it needs to be available, but not, they're supposed to be able to take the time to learn. Everybody's at a different pace. I thought it was very interesting. So that really works once learners have the digital learning skills and confidence to study this way. And again, as we mentioned, I think some of us mentioned that now that we've studied online, we certainly can feel for the students, as I am right now as well. And then micro-credentialing, I'm been working on a project and like this. You can stay tuned for a webinar on that in May. And it's, again, something that's going to be dabbled in. It's been slow coming, but I think it's picking up, especially those that have competency-based outcomes. And then I just grabbed that screenshot from the report. But again, Hank can email you the, you can either look at the report or email you the slides. Thanks, Kate. Metrics and ranking, oh God, don't we love it, eh? We're the top university and et cetera, et cetera. Probably doesn't have too much to do with us per se immediately, but I guess they could use that. Start marketing universities, again, having the best technology, having the best learning designs, I don't know. And that's where they've also started talking about well-being, which Kate alluded to. And then can technology assist and incentivize researchers and teachers? That's another question. How does that fit in? We talk about artificial intelligence again. So this AI comes up a bit more than the AR and VR. If anyone's interested in the open science and research infrastructure, so they've got the, the whole being able to do the research and data management area. So that's really interesting. And then cybersecurity, definitely something that's coming up. I have a friend whose husband is really big. I think he's running a company to do with cybersecurity. So don't put that aside. Do start thinking about your passwords. It's fascinating. I know we've been told and probably been complacent about it, but I have definitely started thinking differently. So that's the top 10, or their 10 things they concentrated on. And then they did a bit of an analysis. And so they said, okay, there's a little legend there. So you've got the magnifying glass saying, just watch for this. We're not sure how far it's gonna go. Then there's a part of explore it. It might be the right thing for you. And then after that, there's implement it. This is really going something and well worth probably investing in it. So it says, take the 5G hype with a pinch of salt. Surprise, surprise there. We still can't get NBN right here in Australia. Again, the AI came up, a range of technologies. As it becomes more affordable, just like everybody had, not everybody had computers at one time. Now everybody's got I'll generalize, everybody has a computer. You've got the predictions that it will transform teaching. Chatbot technology came a few times, and I think there's something there. I really do. Automated marking? Well, there's multiple choice stuff that's already marked for us. Personal learning assistants. They say that's out there, but still in its infancy. Adaptive learning environments, again, go back to what Kate has researched as well too, the student experience. Can it give feedback? That'll be the next question. Text, data mining. So explore it, but don't invest, they said. Data analytics, and that's where they're saying everybody's, and I know it's been in the talks for the last 5 years at least, is the whole analytics side of things. So, and I think the next one is going to be interesting is well-being analytics, and that probably goes back to what Sarah's also talking about. You could even, throw that in there. Is that well-being? Are students okay? Can they handle this? So, and an intelligent campus was mentioned. Nearly done. Blockchain, they're still saying wait, watch and wait. So it's out there, but it's still not the big thing yet, not waiting. Immersive technology, so there's the AR, VR. Because of the advances in AI, 5G, and computing power, sorry, my papers just went flying, that will have better VR experiences. And I've got somebody who's walked by, lovely man. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So beware of the hype, though. And again, so there you go. It'll be interesting to see what the others have to say about the whole AR, VR bit. But it is worth exploring. Internet of Things, well, you got to implement it. Internet of Things is also about sensors and stuff like that. So in this report, Cisco estimates there will be as many as 50 billion devices connected by 2020. That's next year. It's a lot of things connected to the internet. So huge concept with many applications. That's worth watching and worth implementing if you can. So if somebody has interest in that, with the ability to track and monitor. So literally, yes, they are monitoring us. And if you didn't realize that now, they are. And finally, robotics. Watch it there. I guess that can kind of blend in with your AR, VR a bit. But they're talking about physical manifestation. And could it be a tool? And my philosophy has always been that technology is a tool, just as a pen and paper is the tool that we need to do what we want to do for the outcome. So maybe robotics will be a tool. Will it be a peer? Will it be a tutor? There's some explanation there. And then they did consider, but didn't analyze, 3D printing. Yes, it's out there, isn't it? Autonomous vehicles, biotechnology, nanotechnology, and quantum computing. So all things definitely we've heard about and is out there, but they didn't get into it. So what's in the chat box? While you guys were, I hear ding, ding, ding. Apologies. Are there any questions, Hank, that I'm perhaps missing?
Yeah, there are a few. First of all, thanks very much, Marlene. It's lovely to hear you in a very organic environment with
beautiful?
birds and planes and visitors. That's
I love being able to
very human-centered environment. Lovely. So there was a question a little while back by Anthony, which asked, what do you mean by a truly blended approach?
Well, I think everything's going to be blended now. Nothing's going to be a delivery of information as it once was, as we knew. My fascination now, and anecdotally, is my son's going to school in Canada because I am Canadian. So he's back in Canada and he's in uni, and oh boy, he's still living what I lived through in the 80s and 90s. It's amazing. I'm always talking to him. So they are not doing blended learning, whereas I think universities here are truly blended learned, truly delivering a blended learning experience. There's no doubt about that now.
All right, thank you. There's probably room for one more question if anyone wants to ask a quick question.
He thinks Montreal is cold enough, Tom. I'm from Northern Canada anyways. I know all about Athabasca. Anything else? Catalyst for my project was the robots. Oh, Sarah, we'll take our jobs narrative. What that be? So this is good. Yeah, so it's worth having a flip through, and perhaps no longer require applicants to have university degrees. That's true. Have you read, I'm doing a grad cert in management, and I was listening to a recording about Google and fascinating culture. And Sarah, if you're talking about the human culture and stuff like that, have a listen to this, to the interview of the HR manager and just what they expect in that whole technology, but the human side of things. Fascinating. I was like, yes, finally. So now could we only have it go the rest of, so many other institutions. Anyway, Tom, let's go with Tom and
yes,
be
I think
my,
we'll
be my
yeah.
Tommy there.
So can we thank Marlene, please?
Oh.